Oh, yeah, you're feeling it tonight, folks. Good evening. It is Tuesday night, November 13th. Where were you when you were jumping onto a roller coaster? Oh, man, what a night for Sharks hockey. This is Teal Town After Dark, your live and interactive Sharks postgame show, and we have multiple ways to interact with us throughout the night. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans in the YouTube chat on the page or the app. We thank 37 of you jumping in early on this evening. Of course, jump on the YouTube page or the app or hit us on the Twitter, either with the hashtag TealTownUSA or just follow us everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, you name it. You love it. Follow us. You want some more of it. That being said, let's say hello to Mr. AJ Strong.
Why's that?
With special guest Caleb behind there checking in.
For the 100th time.
And also joining us, Mr. Al Martinet.
For the billionth time, I will put stuff on the background of my walls. Anytime now.
Oh my God. I need to go over to his house and just say, dude, just like, I'm just going to bring Al to my house and I'm going to act like this is like a carnival and say, okay, hit the balloon with the dart. And then you can pick 3 things off the wall to take home.
You may never get them back though.
I'm just saying.
Then again, you're going to have to probably go to the Shark store soon to pick up a 400th puck. But we'll get to that in just a jiffy.
Hold on one second. Clark85 saying a Leafs logo would look good up there. I'm thinking you're probably talking to Al with that comment. I'm just saying.
I think he's talking about you.
No, I think it's you because you don't have anything on your walls.
We're going to go there.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, let's get to it as the Sharks take on the best team in the NHL, the Nashville Predators. They had a stunning comeback when they played them earlier in the season. They came out strong and they came out firing at all cylinders. 5:09 in the first, Marcus Sorensen. It's like we've seen this play before where he just waits, and then fires it top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Unassisted at 5:09 to make it 1-0 San Jose. AJ, we got playoff Sorensen tonight. He's been doing pretty well. His third on the year.
Dude, I love playoff Sorensen. I love playoff Sorensen in a big way. I don't know what the hell just dropped, but anyway, I still go back to Sorensen versus Edmonton 2 playoffs ago, and that was a guy that I really, really have been dying to see during the regular season. And Sorensen, oh my Lord, 3rd goal from him this season so far. Fun fact, bizarrely enough, all 3 of Sorensen's goals this season have been the first in the game for the Sharks. So that's awesome. But, Sorensen picks off a bad pass and just roof jobs the thing. And like you said, 5 minutes in and you're kind of like, okay, because let's be honest, best team in the league coming into the tank that the Sharks had a ridiculous comeback against just 3 weeks ago in Nashville. So you're kind of like, oh man, they're going to be pissed off because of that. They're going to be pissed off because they lost in the shootout to Anaheim last night. So you thought that you were going to get a really, really good Predators team. But stop me if you've heard this before. Sharks beat the Predators 5-4.
Spoiler alert. Just under 2 minutes later, the Sharks have a power play. Carlson fires it on. And like I tweeted out, what Carlson dishes, Pavelski tips. And Pavelski gets his 9th of the season from Erik Karlsson and Tomas Hertl. 2-0 San Jose. Alex, he's a great tipper.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. But I mean that's a goal that you've seen from Pavs get all the time, and usually they've been, defenders have been clogging him, kind of cross-checking him, interfering him, getting him in that spot where he's not able to, and that was classic Pavs right there.
Yeah, I mean, Erik Karlsson's still looking for his first goal as a San Jose Shark, and we're almost 20 games in. But, he has a lot of assists this season. It's more or less the consistent factor this season is more of a question mark with regards to EK. But I think he's been progressing better the last 10 games, definitely fitting better into the Pavelski, getting used to how he wants to operate the puck compared to how Burns does it. So we're definitely seeing a better progression with Erik Karlsson.
Definitely. 8 assists. I mean, he's doing something scoring wise, even though he's not getting it on, but he's definitely been taking more shots on there.
Good for him. I mean, Karlsson, no points in his last 7 games. All right. No primary assists until tonight was his first primary assist because Forsberg tripped Kane, Pavelski getting his 9th from Karlsson. And let's be honest, I mean, that almost looked like that Hurdle tipped it before it even got to Pavs, but I'll let that one go. But it was the 400th career assist for Karlsson, the 100th assist for Hurdle on that Pavelski goal.
Did he get a double assist on that?
Yeah.
Well, if you looked at NHL.com for about 2 minutes, I think he did. But yeah, it was that was fun at 7:05 of the first period. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And a note about that assist for Karlsson, he is the 13th fastest defenseman to reach 400 assists. He's the 5th Swedish-born player to register 400 assists and the 2nd fastest Swedish defenseman to hit 400 assists. So,
oh, good for you.
Like this in the background. All right, moving onward. A weird turnover from Nashville for a team that's so defensively sound. Cross ice pass that went awry, and it went right to Antti Suomela, who just bangs it home with 3:09 left to go in the first period. San Jose looks like they're dominating the best team in the league, 3-0. They outshoot the Predators 18-5. I mean, AJ, my goodness, what a period.
I'm sorry, I'm getting tweeted out of my mind over here. No, that was fantastic. That cross, I don't even know where that cross ice pass was going, to be honest with you. I mean, it was like the perfect bank shot. It was like, if we were playing a game of billiards, or for the uninitiated, pool, if you were playing that game, that was an amazing bank shot. But just prior to that, Weber would trip Sorensen. And if you look at it, the Sharks were really pouring it on in the last 4 minutes, but Suomela picking off what has to be one of the worst passes I've ever seen. And Suomela nails his 4th point in 5 games. So again, you have to give some credit to Peter DeBoer for jiggering the lines a little bit. I'm one of the guys that will jump on the, the PDB bandwagon that just kind of like, what the hell are you doing? But you know what? Suomela centering this 4th line right now, it's working, people.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say that, like, the Nashville played the Ducks last night, and it went to overtime. And it just seemed like the Sharks had, 3 steps on Nashville in the opening period. And that's
Eat the mic, bro. I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me? Yeah. But for the most part...
There you go.
For the most part, it just seemed like Nashville didn't really have much of a tempo at all in the first period. Just kept on turning over the puck. No transition game at all. No speed either. And also, I don't know if it was the line blender or not, but everything seemed to work. And then the Sharks fell into their bad habits, not shooting the puck, not moving their feet. The second period was by far... If the first period was one of their best periods, the second period was probably one of the worst this season.
Yeah, it really was. We'll jump into the second period. Nice segue, Alex. Appreciate it.
Well, Well, hold on. As we jump into the segue from the first to the second, after one, shots on goal for San Jose, depending on who you listen to. Now, this is the fun part. If you listen to Randy Hahn during the broadcast, he said 18 shots on goal for San Jose. But if you looked at NHL.com, who, let's be honest, sometimes not the most reliable source, they said 15 shots on goal. But after one period, Nashville, 5 shots on goal. The thing that's a little worrying, San Jose 44% in the circle, Nashville 56. But that's the way the first period would shake out.
And that seems like it's a regular season trend. The Sharks are just not a good face-off team this year.
They've had a couple of ones, yeah, but yeah, lately they've been bad. They've been bad,
but I do like the fact that, like I said, like Randy said, 18 shots on goal. Gackle on Twitter said 18 shots on goal, but if you watched NHL.com, it said 15 shots on goal, which makes you wonder what the hell's NHL watching,
or they're just behind a little bit.
Is there a Nashville bias with NHL.com? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Is that what it is?
It was bad, that second period. That, how great that first one was, the second one was bad. Craig Smith at 443, he breaks out of an 8-game slump, buries it home. He was real frustrated with himself. I think he thought it was going to be disallowed, but it was allowed.
Because he kicked it in.
But it was allowed nonetheless. Johansson and Forsberg on the assists make it 3-1. A turnover leads to – go ahead.
No, what are you talking about? 2 minutes in, Bonino slashes Hurdle, but because LeBanc would get caught for hooking Forsberg, Bonino would slash Hurdle, get only a 40-second power play, because that's the whole thing, is that when you talk about power plays and PKs and all that stuff, and this is something that Brody Brazil brought up during a broadcast a long time ago, that instead of saying amount of power plays and amount of PKs, it should be registered as time on the power play. Because like I'm saying, Bonino slashes Hurdle, they only get 40 seconds of a power play before LeBanc would hook Forsberg. But Smith from Johansson and Bonino, I'm still telling you, Eric, and I tweeted it out. I tweeted out the GIF. That felt like a kick to me, man. You see his left skate. People don't stop like that unless they're trying to kind of,
And that would be the second time that's happened to the Sharks.
Are you sure you're not reacting to his reaction, which was kind of just, are we sure we're going to count that?
It says he's guilty.
I mean, you're right, but at the same time, it's like, I thought he was going to count regardless. There wasn't enough there to disallow it.
Tooted and booted, man.
Hey.
I'm just saying. All right.
But, mentioning in the chat, a lot of people were saying, especially Dave B., 44-61 so bad when Pete put him on the ice. Laviolette immediately put Forsberg's line on. And they even had a rough time on the power play as well. But the Forsberg line kept going. Philip Forsberg received a turnover. 44-61 weren't on there at that time, but unassisted. Just 40 seconds after Smith got the first goal for the Predators, Forsberg breaks out of his 6-game goal-scoring slump to make it 3-2 San Jose.
But let's call it what it is. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Braun totally flubbed a pass up the boards.
Yep. Was it Braun or was it Dylan?
No, it was Braun. If Braun keeps that
right.
in, that puck is nowhere near the neutral zone. But it was a flub, and that, it happens from time to time. That's all right. It's okay.
Are you going to put any of the blame on say Niemi, but Jones?
Oh, really? Oh, damn. Really? Hold on. Where's the eject button on this? No. There's going to be.
I was that close to saying Niemi. I just had to say it. But
I do think there was one that Jones probably should not have given up, and we'll get to that in a moment. But after Forsberg buries that breakaway when Braun flubbed it on that pass, 5 minutes later, Dylan would get caught for interference on Hartman. And then you sit there and go, oh, come on, Dylan, it's your birthday. What are you going to do? And then 2 minutes later, Dylan pulls an interference from Ellis, and that one, my friends, Eric, I'm telling you, that might have been one of the best penalty kills I've seen from the Sharks all season when Ellis picked up that interference versus Dylan.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Listening to Randy and Hetty on the game at that time, they were a little.
Those guys? No, I'm kidding.
They score.
Who are those guys?
They
What he said.
Oh, jeez. They were a little iffy about the call on Dylan, and they were kind of wondering if there was going to be an embellishment call on that interference call with Brendan Dillon.
Yeah. I gotta be. You know what? And I think they would have something to say, because you look at that, and then you look at the embellishment that Meyer was called on a game ago. You kind of go, really? That's where we're at when it comes to embellishment. But all right.
Yeah, and so Dylan gets a penalty called on the Preds. And to me, that I thought that was a little bit of a makeup call.
Yes,
but I digress. And then at 17:52, I got my Forsberg goals mixed up. Burns and Ryan were on this one, not Vlasic and Braun. My apologies. Forsberg ties it up, deflects off of Ryan. Forsberg picks it right back up, goes through the 5-hole. Not the greatest period in Sharks this season. Forsberg's 12th from Smith at 17:52. This game is tied 3-3 after 40 minutes, and Al, oh my God, it was 3-0.
You have to be freaking the hell out at this point after they owned it, scored the first 3, and then cough up 4 consecutives. But well, obviously the 4th wouldn't come until the 3rd. But yeah, you got to be like, oh my God! After the 3rd period, you were feeling so good about this, and you're like, yes, best team in the NHL, and we're owning them. And then after the 2nd, you're kind of like, and back down to earth.
Yeah, I kind of figured Nashville would have some type of response in the 2nd period. I was worried when they scored the 4th goal in the 3rd period in such a short time, but give Nashville a lot of credit. They didn't need a win. They didn't need a comeback. They probably could have just not played the entire 3rd period if they really wanted to, or 2nd period. But they really are one of the best teams in the league right now. I think they're 8-2 now. For the last 10 games. But this is how Nashville is all the time in the Western Conference. They always start really strong in the regular season, and then they hit a cold streak. And right now, they're in their hot streak. I don't think this team, compared to the last 2 teams for Nashville, has the depth, but this is still a really good team.
Oh,
absolutely.
You say Nashville's not a good team. They're number 1 they got the most points of anybody.
But I don't think this is as good as their cup run team.
No, well, we'll see. And, that's something you can't talk about until we get to that point. But you have to give it up to, while they're only 6-3-1 over the last 10, away they're 8-1-1. This is a team that does not lose away for some reason. So you have to give it up to them. Go ahead.
They're like the Sharks when they made their cup run in 2016, just dominated on the road.
Yeah, a little bit. But something to also take account of in the 2nd period at 14:22, they did get on the hook for too many men, which gave 22 seconds of a 3-on-5.
Yeah.
And they lost the faceoff, which was key. So thank God that all worked out. And then at 4:30 left in the 2nd, Hertl went to the dressing room, never to return. Unfortunately, Hertl was still out for the rest of the 2nd, which sucked. And
according to chat, PDP is saying it's lower body injury.
Well, isn't that everything? Because 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago versus Philly, of course, it was upper body. But 17:52 Forsberg from Smith. That was the one that Nashville scored on that breakaway that I was like, oh, that's the one, Jonesy. That's the one you need to have. especially when you consider that after 2 periods, we talked about earlier where the Sharks finished 18 shots on goal, Nashville 5, and then they almost flipped the script. Nashville did.
Yeah.
Nashville 15 shots on goal, San Jose only 6. So that, finishing the second period, you're kind of like, okay, well, Nashville's caught up on shots on goal. We've lost hurdle. They've caught up. It's now tied. Holy cannoli. How are we going to get through the third period, Eric?
And it doesn't start off too well as Rocco Grimaldi skates in and scores. He was celebrating as he was falling and hitting the boards from Fiala and post-Teal syndrome for Matt Irwin getting his first assist of the season. At 2:43, the Predators come all the way back from 3-0 down to lead 4-3. No, not shades of 2014 all over again. Hashtag it was 3-0.
Oh, don't go there. But you have to take into account, though, 52 seconds into the third, Kane missed a wide open net. Oh, my God. It was so amazingly wide open.
Yep.
But the thing that really puts it on you for Grimaldi getting in 2:45 into the third is the fact that he just completely undressed Yoki Ryan for that breakaway. That's one where you looked at it and you just go, okay, Yoakum, this is why you got scratched a couple games ago in favor of Heat. I'm just going to say.
I don't really blame that on Joachim, just because I think
he got undressed, dude.
He was in bad position, but the athleticism with his, I thought he had enough speed just to pull away. And if you want to get back on him not getting back, I can totally see that. But
it wasn't that he didn't get back; it's just that he totally misplayed it.
I read that more as him not getting back in time.
Well, all right. Well, 2 minutes later, LeBanc would get called for hooking Forsberg. Boom. Yeah. Nashville. And I will say this. I have to address this. The Sharks got an awful lot of power play opportunities in the first half of this game, Eric.
Yeah, they did. And they looked promising on the first 2 tries. The other 3, not so much. I'll definitely give them credit for that first one. Pavelski scores, all as well. The second one, they had a lot of great flow going through it, a lot of confidence in there, and just couldn't bang it home. Nonetheless, they had a 3-0 lead. They just couldn't get that second power play goal for sure.
Well, when it talks to power plays, though, you also have to take into account that Nashville coming into this game was worst in the league on the power play.
Yeah.
And 23rd on the penalty kill.
Yeah. It seems like with PDB, he's going to all the teams have kind of adjusted what he's going to be doing. It's not this. There's no variety when it comes to the power play. It's always get the Burns or Carlson and have Pavelski or someone screen in front of the net. And I just think that system is getting kind of redundant.
It can. But let me do something here before we finish off the third period. I just want to welcome in the 68 viewers that are watching us and say, hey, how y'all doing? Especially to the newbies. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what we're doing. You hit that little red button, smash it, if you will, hit the notifications, and join us because we do this at the end of every Sharks game. Talk about the game. Talk about what's going on with the Sharks. You can hit us up on Twitter, the hashtag TealTownUSA. Follow us on Twitter at TealTownUSA. And please, by all means, follow us on our social media channels at TealTownUSA on the Twitter and Instagram. We're also on SoundCloud. And again, like us on Facebook, but smash that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell because we do this after every single Sharks game. But we also slide into your DMs every once in a while, if you will, and do some fun. Sometimes we'll pull a little interview out of the hat every once in a while. So it's kind of cool. But along with that, if you could subscribe, and maybe give us a little, little review on iTunes or something, just whatever you're listening to us on. Your podcast platform of choice. We would appreciate that. So thank you.
Viewer count just hit a good number.
right? And so with that, we move on.
It's hilarious. All right, heading
We
back.
move on. 13:05 of the third period.
Yep.
Pavelski pulls an absolute beauty roof job from Sorensen and Burns, jumping in on Thornton. A fantastic play by Thornton to keep the puck at the blue line, waiting for the other guys to gain the zone, getting it down. This might be one of the best plays of the year, Eric.
It was, and it was a great shot from Pavs to get this game tied up 4-4. Although I want to go back to right beforehand as I'm trying to power this up here with our gifts.
Well, let me guess.
I had
when Hurdle was cross-checked by Alcombe?
No, I was going to say Jones with this huge save on Smith on a 2-on-1. Vlasic didn't exactly play it the best way, although he got over, but Jones just a little bit of a save there on that puck with essentially a wide open net. Smith was going water bottle on that and did not get it there. That was a huge save, and then it turns right around, and then Pavelski from Sorensen goes top shelf. He shows how it's supposed to be done. They tie it up. That's Pavelski's second of the game to make it 4-4. And then, not 13 seconds after that play, a little history. Sorensen again over to Joe Thornton, wide open. He roofs it. I've never seen Jumbo so excited. It's for the 100th, as AJ trademarks it, for the 100th, or now you got me saying it, 400th goal. Jumbo gets the game-winning goal, a huge goal. The Sharks go on to win this one 5-4 over the Nashville Predators.
That was just sick. The last time I saw Jumbo that happy, he was sliding on his back versus LA in the playoffs. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, but gets his 400th at 13-18 from Sorensen and Braun. One of 7 players in the NHL to have 1,500 games under his belt, 1,000 assists, and 400 goals. That's pretty badass, people.
And yet, in this list, only Joe Thornton was not named to the NHL's 100 best players.
No, 100.5, remember?
It's better than being on the actual 100 list. You have a 0.5 distinguish.
Okay,
right.
But see, now I don't, look, I'm going to call it the other way. When you look at this list, who on there does not have a Stanley Cup?
You're right.
Okay, point made. I mean, I don't mean to be that guy, but that's, a lot of the Stanley Cup is going to give a lot there. In fact, there may be some people, if you go and look at that top 100, there may be probably 3 or 4 names that if their name is not on the Stanley Cup, maybe they're not on that list.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Do you think Joe Thornton is a first ballot Hall of Famer, or does he have to wait a year?
Absolutely. No, first ballot. Easy.
I think they might make him wait 1 year.
Nope. First ballot.
If they did that, that's a shame. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Alex.
Just only because of the market he played in and how short of a time he played it in Boston. There's really no memory of that.
I think Paul Correa had to wait a little bit, and he got in, and he was more synonymous with playing in Anaheim, and he had a stint here and there with Colorado, Nashville, and St. Louis.
But Correa had 2 Stanley Cups.
No, 1.
0.
2007.
I thought
no, Correa never won
Colorado.
the cup.
Colorado, right?
No, he never won a cup.
They only didn't win.
So it was just the 1, right? Or did he have any?
He had 0.
Oh. And he just got his number retired like a month ago. Really?
I'm pretty sure he won one with the Ducks.
No, he played in 1.
No.
No. Korea played in the 03 Cup final. Remember that was the one where Stevens just like knocked him out, and then he played the next shift. And
Exactly. That's my point. Is
Yeah,
that Korea was not part of the 2007 Ducks that won the Cup.
Yeah, he was in the 03 one and lost to Jeff Friesen and the New Jersey Devils.
And fun fact, Jeff Friesen was on the Ducks the year before. No, the same year, wasn't it?
It might have been the same year.
Yeah, I think Friesen got traded mid-year. All right. Well,
Crazy.
okay. That's a you know what? We're gonna save that for a Wheel of Fortune. We're gonna save that for some sort of game show thing that we do later, like maybe over the holidays or something. But a couple fun things I want to throw in here as we put a bow on this one. Again, my favorite part of coming onto the show tonight was having to say the Sharks beat the Predators 5-4. Where have you heard this before? But a couple fun things, and not a fun thing if you enjoy the brew when you're at a Sharks game. I was told by several people on Twitter tonight that tonight was the first time that beer sales at the tank were cut off at the end of the second period. That's very odd to me.
Really?
I've never heard of that before. I mean, I've
thought
heard
that
them.
was always the case.
Yeah.
No, well, you know what? Maybe on the concourse, but never on the club level. Yeah, because I've gone to the bar several times towards the end of the game as I waited for everybody to leave, and I was always able to have a cocktail at the end of that. So we might need to get a little further clarification on that, but if that's the case, damn. And the one thing, you know how much wait a minute, hold on, we gotta hit a couple in the YouTube chat.
Yep.
Caleb played for the Preds. I don't even get that. At AJ, Arena was very low attendance tonight. I did hear that from more than a couple people, which is surprising to me when we're talking about the Sharks playing the best team in the NHL, and it's a team that the Sharks just 3 weeks ago beat in Nashville 5-4 on an amazing comeback win. And then, look what happened tonight. Score 3 unanswered, give up 4 unanswered, and turn around, win 5-4. So that's pretty cool. But my favorite part of tonight, it was Brendan Dillon's birthday tonight. His birthday game. Dilly. I love Randy Hahn to no end. But I have to call out the funny when it happens. And I wrote it down because when I heard Randy say it, I went, what? Randy Hahn tonight said, happy 28th birthday, Brendan Dillon, born on this day 28 years ago. Well, if it's his 28th birthday today, it would kind of stand to reason that he would have had to have been born 28 days ago or 28 years ago. I'm just saying. I just thought it was a very funny. I'm not sure who wrote that script for him or what it was. And you know, Randy, I love you more than I love myself. But I just thought it was very, very. I just thought it was a really funny thing when I went, okay. Either somebody wrote that for Randy or Randy was just putting it together. But either way, it was very funny to me. When I heard that, I went, wait, what? But it was very cool. Just another Randy G. Love you too, AJ. Yeah.
The only thing worried about the attendance is that it is a Tuesday, but there is nothing else in the Bay Area in terms of what's competing with it.
It's a Tuesday where you sit there and go, well, maybe that's why it's bad attendance because it's a Tuesday. But then, as Al said, well, what the hell else is going on? Nothing. It's not like the Sharks were playing like Florida or something. I mean, they're literally playing the best team in the NHL that they just played a few weeks ago, which was, I mean, if you thought that game against Nashville 3 weeks ago was great, tonight was just as good. So it does make you wonder, was there any giveaway? Was there any type of a promotion tonight, Eric?
The Eric Carlson Are You Not Entertained t-shirt pack.
But that's a promotional pack that, you know, it's not something that everybody gets through the door. Yeah, you got to buy a special thing for that.
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
Oh.
Right. Right? Hey,
how appropriate that the people get those shirts.
Hey, Carlson got his first primary assist as a Shark.
Are you still not entertained?
So, yeah, right?
Oh, good for you.
So with that, we move on.
Wait, I will say, according to ESPN, the attendance was 16,654.
Good luck with that.
Hey, you know what though? That's to me. I'm sorry, 16,000 what?
16,654.
So basically
900
1,000
short.
less than we're used to,
Mm-hmm.
or 1,000 less than a sellout. But that is sad when you're talking about the number one team in the NHL coming in. When you look at the playoffs, when the Sharks went to the final a couple years back, that series was fantastic. That was the only series the Sharks had, that series that went 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at, like I said, 3 weeks ago, the Sharks, coughing up 3 goals and then coming back and winning 5-4. This just had everything written on top of it. Like, this is going to be a fantastic hockey game. And after the first period, you were like, ugh! And after the second period, you were like, oh no. And then after the third period, you're like, yeah. So that's the part that bums me out, that there was not more people there. Especially, this was the second game out of a 6-game homestand, longest homestand for the Sharks this season. So let's wrap it up. Coming up, we have Toronto, St. Louis, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Toronto coming in on Thursday. Toronto not looking so good, only playing 500 hockey, 5-5 over their last 10 games. Now, granted, this is going to be like, what's the over-under on the Marleau obligatory ovation? Because we, like last season, it was like, 5.5 minutes. What is it, like 30, 35 seconds this year?
Oh, I think about at least a minute.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a minute. But here's the thing. No Austin Matthews, but how many times? Now, let's go back to when Brian Campbell used to get booed every time he touched the puck when he returned. How often is Jonathan Tavares going to get booed on Thursday night whenever he touches the puck, Alex?
One time.
Oh, what time? What?
Look, I don't mean to be the downer here, but Jonathan Tavares, I think, was an overrated. If you look at how good New York Islanders have been playing compared to Toronto, I think he's a really good talent. But I think you see a team that's been picking up after everyone else. I'm really not that impressed with Tavares, and I think he would have been a great addition. But out of 14 million, 13 million a year, I'm not too sure. When I boo a player, I expect to have some rivalry. Someone I've seen 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I'm not going to do that with Tavares.
All right. The thing is, Davalos, I love you, bro. And you sit there and you blow that horn for the Canucks. But, dude, are you really asking why would you boo Tavares? Did you forget that, like, Hasso Plattner flew all the way from Germany to meet up with, like, Wilson and DeBoer to meet with Tavares' agent in L.A. over the offseason? Did you forget all of that? Like, the Sharks – dude, Erik Karlsson was plan B for the Sharks. Tavares was plan A. So I think that's the reason why. I'm just calling it now. I think Tavares is going to get booed every time he touches the puck. That's all I'm saying.
I'll agree with you if it's the first period, but all the way through, nah.
We'll see. We might have to place a. I'm getting a phone call. Oh, but look who it's from. Look who it's from. I have to answer this.
Wait, what?
No, you tell him to get on the show. You go answer that. We'll do the wraparound. So while he does that, Al, I think it's time
for
the NHL wraparound. Yes, it's wraparound, and AJ can't do anything about it.
Just give up. It is the reach around.
No, it's wraparound. So let's get into the action here tonight in New Jersey.
Okay, and we have Brody Brazil live from the Bay Bridge on speaker. What would you like to say about the game tonight, bro?
That's actually pretty pretty accurate. I didn't tell you where I was, but or I have to say that Sharks game was like a novel. It was a good story. Simple as that.
Really? Oh, see, I know how it is. See, you know what it is? NBCSN pays him, and he can spin a yarn for 5 minutes. We don't pay him, so we get like 12 seconds.
Yep, by word.
Well, I didn't know if you could still hear me. I thought I broke up. Look, I think as far as twists and turns of a game goes, it doesn't get much more confusing than that. To be world beaters in the first 20, to kind of get like. I'm not saying the next three that Nashville got were fluky by any means in the second, but I mean, a turnover, an interesting bounce off the skate, fumbling of a puck. I'm just saying it was bizarre. And then for them to get the next one of the third period, I mean, that kind of puts you really in the bad mood of how the night might go. And then to counter that with your captain and Jumbo getting, a milestone, like, again, if you're writing this, if you could just write the story of the game any way you like, you'd be hard pressed to write it better than that, so there's a lot going on there. And I think Martin Jones, even though he gave up as many goals as he did, I think for the second straight game, like down the stretch, he late was if not the difference maker defensively.
Absolutely. But can I ask you this, Brody? Do you think that the 400th goal was actually for the boys?
Maybe for the boys. Like lacing up your skates is for the boys, and wearing a suit to the rink is for the boys. No, it's I thought Joe's celebration, like, I was excited to see him score it. I loved Hunter's call, but to see Joe's celly was like he doesn't get that excited for every goal he scores. But that one, you could see he was like into it. So, I mean, that's your sounds weird to say, but that's your third line center right there.
Did it feel a little? Did it feel a little reminiscent of the LA victory in the playoffs where he slid?
I mean, to see him react more than he normally does, like that, and like your point about what he did to close out that series at Staples, it's like he was in that moment too, and he'll probably tell you afterwards that he was that excited because of the change in the game and the score and taking the lead back. But I really think that he knew he was one away, and he's pretty pumped to get it. So and look, I would also say the guy has been through so much physically, emotionally, mentally in the last couple of years of recovering, being away from the team, that he deserves these moments like this where the effort is rewarded. So that's definitely one of them.
Well, I would totally agree with that, because if you look at his 1500th game, kind of a disappointment because it was a loss. So it was really awesome that not only was the 400th in like a, just a great back and forth game, but the fact that it was the game winner.
No doubt. I mean, and again, that goes to the storyline aspect of it. If you were to write this, if you had the choice of any different plot twists you could have imagined, it'd be hard to write one better than this. And I also think too, considering this homestand, considering the last two opponents, it's amazing how the Sharks did what they did in Dallas and St. Louis, and then they have come home to a Calgary team that was red hot, and a Preds team that's, considered best in the league. And obviously it doesn't get any easier with Toronto on Thursday, but, to respond to this type of difficulty level, I think in itself is a statement.
Absolutely. Let me get done with this, and I'll give you a call in like 10 minutes. Is that okay?
I should still be commuting.
Okay, then. You'll probably still be on the Bay Bridge. Let's be honest.
Don't screw up the rest of your show, okay? No pressure.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon, man.
See ya.
So that was our check-in from Mr. Birdie Brazil.
That was cool.
Nice.
Dude, I just love it when random things happen during the middle of the show. So
all right.
Thank you so much, Brody, for joining us on that. That was awesome. So
now we owe Brody what, 5 dinners now?
We owe dude, I'm gonna have to take Brody to like 3 different breweries up in San Ramon, I think. So let's wrap it up. Okay, so Toronto's coming in again. Austin Matthews out. We get the return of Patrick Marleau yet again. And he's gonna get all the accolades as he should. I mean, 20-year Shark, but boom, Toronto playing 500 right now. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Sharks deal with that, especially after they were able to vanquish the best team in the NHL tonight. Now, granted, let's call it what it is. The Predators played a game in SoCal last night. Travel can be a bit of a biatch, if you will. They lost in the shootout 2-1 to Anaheim last night. They were able to put up 4 straight goals on the Sharks tonight after the Sharks opened up with 3 straight. That is something that the Sharks need to be worried about. But the thing that I will appreciate is after the Sharks went 1 for 20 on the power play, they did score a power play tonight, but 1 for 5. So right now the Sharks 2 for 25 on the power play. That is something for me that does need to get better, Eric.
Completely. I completely agree with you on that, but it's it's been a struggle all year. They looked better on those they looked better on those first 2. The last 3 not so much.
Yeah. Especially the 5-on-3. Nothing on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely.
So, that's the way this one would peel out. But you know what? It would be wrong of me to leave without
crap.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
It's wrap around. We were so close for Ashley getting the title of this segment right. Oh, well. All right. And here's the action in tonight's NHL. The Devils 4-2 over the Penguins as Hall gets 2 goals, including the game winner. Kessel and Gensel were the goal scorers for the Penguins as the Smith takes the loss. Kincaid gets the win.
I'm going to take the next one.
No, that's okay. In Brooklyn,
I'm going to take this one because of 2 reasons. First off, there's a team in the Pacific Northwest that is mentioned, and I will not allow them to be mentioned in a screwed up voice. But the other reason why I will take this one is because
should I do it?
Post-Teal syndrome will always strike, my friends, because Thomas Greiss got the victory for the New York Islanders tonight. And in Philadelphia,
the Islanders beat the Canucks 5-2.
5-2.
Yes, 5-2. The Islanders
I
over
already
the Canucks.
called that one. I said in Philadelphia.
Okay. In Philadelphia, which is nowhere near Vancouver, the Panthers beat the Flyers 2-1. Ekblad and
wrap it up.
Goals for the Panthers. Luongo gets the win, beating Elliott and Jake Voracek, who scored the goal for the Flyers. In Buffalo, don't worry, no Rick Jenneret here. Skinner and
happy that Pominville did not score tonight.
No, you can't add another one to the population, but you could add one to the city of Okposo. He gets the game-winning goal for the Buffalo Sabres, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1. Sabres are on a roll now.
Yep.
In Detroit, so is Detroit. They beat up on the Desert Dogs 6-1.
Beat up. You're talking about a team that's 8-8-1 beating up on a team that's 8-8-2.
But
not the biggest matchup in the world.
But the Red Wings were like for forever.
Dude, anytime I can sit there and say happy to see you scored, it's all good.
Red Wings beat the Coyotes 6-1. In Minnesota, the defending Cup champs beat up on the Wild 5-2, including Tom Wilson getting his suspension reduced so he can play tonight. He gets his first goal of the season.
Call it
Wrong, so wrong. Mayor of Wrongville, wrong.
Call it what it is, Eric. The Wild would have won that game had they started Alex Stalock.
Agreed.
No.
Okay. He's going to sit there and say no. Okay, let's talk about what happened with the Oilers and the Canadiens and how the Canadiens goalie did tonight, shall we?
You walked right into that one now.
I saw that. I saw who it was.
Oilers 6, Canadiens 2. Benning, Draisaitl, Kajula, Nugent Hopkins, Chris Russell, and Darnell Nurse all got goals. The losing goaltender, former Shark, Antti Niemi.
The price was wrong on that one.
You know, most of us are anti Niemi, but for some reason, Al is pro Niemi. I'm not sure why that is.
I'm pretty sure I'm anti Sumilla at these days.
I'm sure that Antti Niemi was crying uncle for that game.
Okay.
Well, in LA, the Sharks.
Noted beard puller Nazem Kadri scored twice tonight. Twice on the power play.
Yep.
But remember, if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword.
And Budai takes the loss for the Kings as they fall to 5-11-1.
And for those of you who watch Spinal Tap, being the goalie for the Kings is like being the drummer in Spinal Tap.
And of course, the Sharks won 5-4 on this night. And that brings a wrap up to the NHL wrap around.
What was it?
The wrap around.
What
was it?
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
There you go.
So Toronto coming to town. Expect a big crowd on hand there as Patty returns. Tavares gets booed. Tavares gets booed.
Is there? I mean, we know that the 17th is Hockey Fights Cancer. Is there any type of a giveaway or anything to look forward to? Mystery hats, anything. I know there's mystery pucks for the Veterans Day game versus Calgary. Is there anything to look forward to for Sharks fans for this, or is it just the return of Marlowe?
I think
it's the return of Marlowe. It's also Stealth Night.
It is Stealth Night and Authentic Fan Night. So, come.
Which means
that's the wrong sign. I'll be right back. That's the wrong sign.
Which means Bro Bra will be outside the arena doing pregame. So, what are you expecting from Toronto and San Jose getting it on Thursday night, Alex?
It's going to be interesting to see Marlowe back in town. This is
again.
Nice.
Yes, there's the cheer card you'll likely be getting there.
Is that the new season's Authentic Fan song?
That's this year. That's this year. Stealth version of this year has let's see. Yes. This season's schedule.
Yep.
Gotcha.
This is not a player one. This is just a calendar one.
But you'll be getting
you get a player on the backside. Nope. This because I'm an Authentic fan. I don't need a player. I just need the schedule. Damn it.
I really don't know what to expect from Toronto. I think they have probably this top 3 forward lines, just in terms of speed and depth in on the Eastern Conference. Their main weakness is defensive core and goalie. Like, I'm really not too sure on Frederik Andersen. I'm pretty sure they're going to trade for someone who's more veteranized, someone who has more talent right now, because they're definitely competing. So it's going to be interesting to see what Toronto looks like in January. This is their West Coast trip. So for the most part, I believe Toronto doesn't do too well on the West Coast trips. And so we should come out with 2 points, but speed has always been something the Sharks don't do too well.
So it should be interesting to see how that goes, especially since Toronto likes to make sure that they allow Frederik Andersen to take a lot of shots. And since the Sharks like to shoot a lot of shots, it should be a plethora of pucks on Anderson on Thursday night.
Well, I'll tell you, Toronto has faced the Pacific Division 3 times. Once against Vegas, twice against LA, has beaten them all. So
Yeah,
Toronto 5-1 versus LA, 3-1 versus Vegas, and then when LA made a trip to Toronto came out earlier. Toronto 4-1 versus LA. Now, granted, you can't put a whole lot of that because you sit there and go, LA.
When you play LA twice this early in the season, you should be winning your games. And I think those 3 wins was with Austin Matthews.
Yes, they were. So we'll see what happens. But, no, one of them was not, because one of them was tonight. Toronto beat LA 5-1. So there it is. Yeah. Toronto is about to go through the California Triangle. Started at LA tonight. They'll be here on Thursday, and then the night after. Wow. Thankfully, I mean, you talk about a screwed up road trip. Facing LA on Tuesday, coming up here to play Thursday, and then right back down to SoCal to play Anaheim on Friday. So absolutely fun.
It will be interesting to see if Dell starts against Toronto, just to give Jones.
No.
I don't think there's any. I don't. Yeah, but
Jones just got his start. St. Louis on Friday, and that's when the Sharks were shut out for the only time this season. So, and not that was Dell's making at all. But looking at the schedule, you've got Thursday Toronto, Saturday St. Louis, Tuesday Edmonton, Friday Vancouver. There's a lot of days in between. So over this homestand, I don't think I just, if I'm PDB, I don't start Dell during that. But as soon as the Sharks get through with this 6-game homestand, then they go out and they play their next 7 of 8 on the road. But during those, there's 3 back-to-backs. So I think we might see, after this 6-game homestand, I think we see Dell for at least a couple on that, just because the back-to-backs will beg that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but because the next couple
somebody
of games,
write this down. This is the first time Al has ever agreed with me, but go ahead.
Yeah. But since Toronto is an East Coast team, and if you wanted to give Jones a rest, but since Jones has been playing so well the last couple of games.
Oh, last 2 games.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I wouldn't best with his confidence at the moment, but I don't want to tire him out this early in the season.
Yeah.
And when's the bye week? I think the bye week is in
our bye week?
January.
It's right after the All-Star game.
Damn. I thought it was near Thanksgiving.
So it's like a 2-week bye week.
Yeah, because they played
hosting.
Right. We play that Monday in Washington, and then the whole All-Star festivities, and then I don't think they play again until like that following Thursday or Friday.
No, Saturday the 2nd.
Or is it Saturday?
Arizona.
That's it. Yeah.
So with that, everybody, I want to welcome everybody. For those of you who are new here, 52 watching, thank you so much for joining us. We do this at the end of every single Sharks game. So do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. After every Sharks game, we go live. We also go live for other interesting things, but we also have SoundCloud and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the other fun social things. So help us out, because we also give away stuff from time to time. You might want to, maybe get in on one of those things. So with that, it is time. It is time, my friend. Oh, wait, what? No, Eric has a graphic to put up. He just showed it. There it is. Everything can be found tealtownusa.com. So do us a favor. Hey, if you listen to us on iTunes, we would so appreciate a nice review, 5 stars. But hey, if you don't think that we deserve 5 stars, give us 4. It's okay. But Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Google Play, but of all, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And with that, it is time to get out of here. So it's time for final thoughts and where the people can find you on the social. My name, hello, AJ_Strong on Twitter, on Instagram, also taking photos for Teal Town USA on the Instagram. my final thought is you got a power play goal, but you still 2 for 25. Work on that. But you also beat the best team in the NHL not once, but twice. Good on you. And you did it while only having Couture for like 2/3 of the game. So keep it up and make Marlowe wish that he was still here. He was still a Shark on Thursday. Thank you. Al, your social media, where the people can find you.
You can find me at Twitter at Al Martinet. This space right here will go for $250,000 in the Bay Area.
Oh my dude, when are you just gonna put up a thing behind you that says this space for rent?
Basically.
Right.
Shout out to Laurel.
I mean, literally, you like Taylor Swift dances behind you because I got a blank space.
Oh shoot! You said Taylor Swift. Brody's gonna call you right back.
Okay, and with that, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later, man.
Alex, go ahead.
Brody on line 1, you can go ahead. But this is probably like one of the most entertaining games back and forth this season. But tomorrow's stories is definitely going to be something I'm going to be focusing on. Is Hurdle lower body? Is that knee again? And if that's knee, then I'm really worried about going forward with him. It sounds like the Sharks are playing pretty close to the chest what he has, and that's never a good sign. But it's early still, so maybe he can come back and do something. Solid effort all around. Congrats on Joe Thorin and whatever that is that AJ's holding up and trying to chop my head off. So once again, my name is Al Martinet. You can find me in the YouTube description. Always free to chat hockey on Twitter.
Thank you, Al. So AJ kind of hit all my points at the end. So I will say I'm Eric Cura. You can follow. And with that, I think I wasn't able to talk anyway. So until Thursday night, I will see you at the tank. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. Have a good night, everyone.
Whoa.
Do you enjoy the Teal 10 USA?
Dude, that looks so damn weird on my end.